Washington Law PC YouTube channel. I want to talk to you briefly about jury duty, why it's important, and why you should make every effort to serve if you are given an opportunity to do so. Now, when I speak about jury duty, most people think about this dreaded form that they receive in the mail, which means they're going to have to miss work, wake up early, report to court, watch a boring video, wait around, listen to a bunch of lawyers talk, and then receive only a few dollars a day for their services. But I am here to tell you that it is one of, if not the most important civic responsibilities that you have, perhaps even more important than voting. Now, everyone should vote, and depending upon where you live, your vote very well may influence the election. But when you serve as a juror, the decision that you make as a juror, in most cases, is going to have a direct impact on a person's life. Depending upon the case, the decision that a jury reaches, it may influence a company's policy. It may influence the police's policy or the police's tactics. It may influence the law at the state, local, or federal level. It's that serious. I've served on a jury. I've indicted cases in front of juries, and I've tried cases in front of juries. Juries should reflect the demographics in their community. However, what I've noticed is, in many cases, juries do not reflect the demographics of the community. In fact, African Americans and people of color are notoriously underrepresented on juries across America. When I've spoken to people in my community, a lot of them aren't concerned with this. In fact, I know a lot of people who tell me they avoid jury duty, they delay jury duty. When they do report to jury duty, they do everything that they can to make sure that they won't be selected, usually by saying that they can't be fair or they don't trust the police. But I don't understand why anyone would give up that right, knowingly. When it comes to jury service in America, blacks were not permitted to serve on juries until 1875. That's 5 years after blacks received the right to vote. It wasn't until 1986 that the Supreme Court said that blacks could not be discriminated against when it comes to jury duty. And that was in the case of Batson versus Kentucky. Yes, the same Kentucky in which the grand jury did not indict the officers who killed Breonna Taylor. So clearly, the black juror is just as relevant now as they were in 1875. Juries determine who's telling the truth, and there's a need for the black perspective on juries across America. There is a need for people who have lived what is black interaction with police officers across this country. There is a need for people who understand what it means when a black person has an interaction with a police officer in this country. There is a need for people, when they hear police officers speaking, they can draw from that experience and determine whether or not the police officer is telling the truth. There's a need for people who look like the person who's been accused, or they look like the person who's been assaulted. And unfortunately, we don't have enough of that in this country right now. So what happens is we watch the aftermath of these various court proceedings where the killing of black men, women, and children is sanctioned under the law. But it's the jury who determines whether or not the killers will be indicted. And it is the jury who determines whether or not the killers will be convicted. It is the jury, not the politicians, not the judges, who makes that final determination as to guilt or innocence. Therefore, it is important that people of color are involved in making these determinations. So, please report for jury duty. Don't check your common sense at the door. Stop saying that you can't be fair. If you are a person of color in this country, I guarantee you that you can be more fair to this system than this system has been to you and your forefathers. You have a right to be a part of the final decision. You have a right to be a part of the decision making in your community as to who goes to jail and who remains free and who receives compensation for injuries that they receive. So if you have been avoiding jury duty, you're not excited about jury duty, I urge you to reconsider your decision or your thoughts on that matter. Because if you don't, you relinquish the right to be involved in decisions that are going to impact you and your community and the people who live in your community. So wake up, please serve for jury duty. Please like and subscribe. Thank you.